Have you ever met a woman who seemed completely uninterested in you, brah, but deep down you knew she could be? The kind of woman who barely looks your way, yet you can't stop thinking about her. Here's the truth. Attraction isn't about looks, money, or luck. It's about psychology. There are hidden triggers that can make any woman feel drawn to you, even if she swears she's not interested. Most men chase. The wise man doesn't. He builds presence, mystery, and emotional gravity so strong that she starts chasing him. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to attract any woman, even the one who thinks she's out of your league. By the end, she won't understand why she wants you. Only that she does. 1. The power of emotional indifference. Here's the uncomfortable truth most men refuse to face. Attraction doesn't grow in comfort, it grows in tension. The moment a woman feels like she has you completely figured out, she loses all emotional excitement toward you. When she knows you're available, predictable, and desperate to impress, her subconscious automatically labels you as safe. And safe never equals attraction. The first step to attracting a woman who isn't interested is to stop trying to make her feel something. You cannot persuade attraction, you can only provoke it. And that happens when she feels emotional uncertainty, when she can't fully read you, when your energy doesn't revolve around her reaction, when your attention feels like something rare she must earn. Most men give away this power too easily. They text too much, talk too soon, and validate too often, thinking that being nice will win her heart. But being nice is not the problem, and being needy is. Emotional indifference doesn't mean acting cold or rude, it means being centered. It means your life is so full of purpose that whether she likes you or not doesn't change your emotional state. You're unaffected, you're calm, you're unmoved, and paradoxically, that's what makes you magnetic. When a woman can't emotionally control you, she starts paying attention. She begins to notice your tone, your silence, your subtle expressions. She starts wondering what kind of man doesn't chase her approval. And that question becomes the seed of attraction. She's not drawn to your words, she's drawn to your composure. Every time you respond slowly, every time you choose silence over reaction, you remind her that you're different from the crowd. You're not fighting for her attention, you're selecting where to give yours. That shift in frame changes everything. Suddenly, she's not in power anymore. You are. The moment she starts wondering about you, attraction begins to bloom without her even realizing it. Remember this. The strongest form of attraction is curiosity, and curiosity only grows when mystery exists. So stop explaining yourself. Stop over-texting. Stop chasing validation. Become the man whose silence speaks louder than compliments, and she'll start craving to understand you. 2. The law of emotional contrast. If you want to attract a woman who isn't interested, you must learn to trigger contrast, the emotional roller coaster that keeps her mind hooked on you. See, a woman's brain isn't drawn to stability, it's drawn to stimulation. Emotional predictability feels boring, while emotional tension feels addictive. This is why she'll ignore the man who worships her and obsess over the one who makes her feel. Attraction thrives in confusion. When her logic says, I shouldn't like him, but her emotions whisper, I can't stop thinking about him. That's the paradox you must create. You do this not by playing games, but by mastering the art of balance, showing interest, then pulling back, being warm, then being composed, being present, then disappearing. This unpredictability makes her chase emotional validation from you, and that's when she becomes invested. When she texts, don't reply instantly. Let your silence make her wonder what you're doing. When she compliments you, smile but don't overreact. Your restraint becomes power. When she tests you, don't defend yourself. Laugh it off and stay calm. These micro moments signal strength. They show her that you're not emotionally reactive. You're steady in chaos, and that energy is intoxicating to a feminine mind. It gives her a sense of challenge and women are magnetically drawn to men who feel like a challenge they want to solve. But remember, contrast only works if it's real. You can't fake confidence. If your withdrawal is a manipulation, she'll sense it instantly. True power comes when your detachment is genuine, when your world is so full that you don't have to pretend to be busy. You simply are. Think of it like this. A man who knows his worth never begs for attention. He attracts it effortlessly. His vibe says, You can join my world, but my world doesn't depend on you. That statement, even if never spoken, rewires her emotional system. Suddenly, she's the one trying to earn you. She'll start thinking about you randomly, trying to decode your signals, wondering what makes you different. That mental loop is where attraction is born. You've stopped chasing her body, and instead, you've occupied her mind, and once you're in her mind, her heart will eventually follow. 3. The silent language of desire. Attraction isn't built through words, it's built through energy. Most men try to talk their way into a woman's heart, but what they don't realize is that words can only communicate logic, not emotion. A woman doesn't fall for what you say, she falls for what she feels when you're around. That's where the silent language of desire comes in. Your body language, your eye contact, your pacing, your calmness, your presence. When you speak less and express more through your vibe, you force her to feel you rather than analyze you. This is the unspoken confidence that makes her pulse quicken without knowing why. The man who can sit in silence comfortably, who doesn't rush to fill every pause, who holds eye contact just a little longer than usual, that man communicates power. Not aggression, not arrogance, just quiet dominance. Women are hypersensitive to microsignals. The way you look at her, the way you stand, how still you remain when she's emotional, all of it sends subconscious cues. When your energy says, I'm in control of myself, her instincts read it as strength. That's when she begins to feel something primal. Because attraction is not about perfection, it's about presence. Most men sabotage themselves because they try too hard to prove value instead of embodying it. They brag, they explain, they overdo. But a man who knows he's valuable doesn't advertise it, he radiates it. That's why the most attractive men are often quiet, observant, and composed. They let their aura do the talking. Here's the truth. When you maintain calm, measured energy in every interaction, you create a magnetic polarity. She feels safe yet intrigued. She feels grounded yet curious. That's the emotional duality that sparks attraction. It's not about flirting harder, it's about being aware of your energy. So the next time you're around a woman you want, stop trying to impress. Just be there. Breathe slower, speak deeper, move slower. Let your silence carry weight. Let your gaze linger, not to intimidate, but to invite. When your energy speaks louder than your words, she'll feel drawn to you without understanding why. You've entered her nervous system, and once she feels your presence, she won't forget it. 4. Reversing the power dynamic. The moment you stop chasing a woman, something powerful begins to shift. You move from being the pursuer to being the prize. Most men don't understand this dynamic. They give a woman power by treating her interest like a reward instead of realizing they are the reward. When you truly internalize that your time, attention, and emotional presence are valuable, everything changes. You no longer wait for her to choose you. You silently communicate that you're the one who chooses. And that silent confidence reverses the entire game. See, attraction is not about dominance or control, it's about emotional positioning. The person who cares less always has more influence. The one who's less emotionally invested leads the dynamic. This doesn't mean you become cold or distant. It means your world is already full. You have purpose, direction, and passion beyond her. And that energy automatically pulls her toward you. When a woman senses that you're not emotionally dependent on her, she starts to question her own value in your eyes. Her ego starts working overtime trying to decode you. Why isn't he chasing? Why doesn't he react like other men? That curiosity becomes your silent weapon. She begins to chase emotional validation from you without realizing it. She'll initiate more, flirt harder, or test you to see if she still has influence over you. The key is to remain grounded through it all. Never break your frame. When she pulls away, don't panic. When she gets distant, let her. When she returns, welcome her energy, but never overinvest. You must hold the masculine polarity, the emotional anchor that doesn't sway based on her behavior. That's how attraction flips when she starts wondering what you think of her. It's a complete reversal of power. The hunter becomes the hunted. The moment she realizes she can't easily predict your reactions, she starts valuing them. And once she values your attention, she starts craving it. Understand this, your power doesn't come from convincing her to want you, it comes from showing that you're just as capable of walking away. That level of detachment is irresistible. When she feels she can lose you, her emotions begin to chase you. And from that moment, the game is no longer equal. It's yours. 5. Making her emotionally addicted to your presence. Attraction begins with curiosity, but emotional addiction begins with impression. A woman becomes addicted to the energy you leave behind when you're not around. Most men try to make her miss them by absence, but what truly makes her miss you is the emotional mark you leave in her mind. You see, people don't crave others because of logic. They crave the feeling attached to them. If you make her feel safe yet excited, calm yet challenged, she'll start associating you with emotional intensity. And that's when you occupy her thoughts. It's not about texting less or ignoring her. It's about creating experiences that stay with her even in silence. When your presence adds something rare, peace mixed with unpredictability, her brain releases dopamine just by remembering you. That's when you stop being just another man and become a psychological habit. To do this, you must master emotional rhythm. Don't always be available. Create moments where your attention feels exclusive, almost sacred. When she earns your time, it feels like a reward, not a routine. When she expects your presence, pull back slightly. That small gap creates anticipation, the most powerful form of attraction. When she finally gets your attention again, make her feel seen. Look directly into her eyes when she speaks, listen fully, and let your calm energy ground her emotions. In that moment, her nervous system links your presence with emotional relief, something most men can't offer. That's how addiction forms. You're no longer just a man she likes. You're the emotional balance she subconsciously seeks. But remember, addiction doesn't grow in chaos. It grows in control. Never let her see that you crave her validation. Even when you like her deeply, maintain your emotional independence. The paradox is that the less you need her, the more she needs you. She'll start overanalyzing your silence, replaying your words, rereading your messages. She'll begin to miss you not because of what you say, but because of what she felt when you were near. That is the real power of masculine energy. Not to pursue, but to leave such a profound emotional impact that even your absence commands her attention. When you can make her feel your presence in your absence, that's when you've truly mastered attraction. 6. The power of emotional leadership. Every woman, whether she admits it or not, is subconsciously searching for emotional leadership. A man whose calm presence brings structure to her chaos. This doesn't mean control or dominance. It means stability, direction, and groundedness in a world full of noise. Most men crumble under emotional pressure. The moment a woman becomes distant, moody, or tests them, they overreact. They beg, argue, or try to fix everything instantly. But the man who understands attraction knows that emotions are waves, and waves are not to be fought, only ridden. When she feels you can stay composed even when things get unpredictable, she sees you as a rock. And that's when her attraction deepens from curiosity to trust. Emotional leadership starts with one thing. Your state must always lead hers. If she's anxious, you stay calm. If she's angry, you stay grounded. If she withdraws, you remain unmoved. You don't mirror her emotions, you anchor them. Because when she sees that her moods don't shake you, she feels safe to express herself. She realizes she doesn't need to wear a mask around you. That's when her guard starts to fall. And ironically, the moment she feels emotionally safe with you, she becomes far more open, feminine, and vulnerable. Your steadiness becomes her comfort zone. This kind of strength isn't loud, it's silent. It's in the way you breathe slowly when she's upset, the way your tone stays firm but kind, the way you look at her without judgment. You don't fight her emotions, you hold space for them. That's leadership, not telling her what to do, but guiding her emotional energy with your own balance. Most men fail because they think leadership means control. In truth, it's about influence through composure. The calm man naturally becomes the leader because people, especially women, trust what feels stable, and stability is magnetic. When she realizes that being around you softens her chaos and sharpens her focus, she starts craving that peace again and again. You become her emotional reset, the man whose presence recharges her spirit. And once a woman links you with that feeling, she'll chase that peace like an addiction. You won't need to demand attention. Your calm will command it. That's emotional leadership, and it's the final stage before true devotion begins. 7. The deep connection, from attraction to attachment. Attraction gets her attention, but emotional connection keeps it. Once she's drawn to your energy, your presence, and your emotional leadership, the final step is to make her feel seen. Every woman wants to be understood without having to explain herself. And the man who can read between her words, sense her emotions, and respond with calm strength becomes unforgettable. This is where attraction transforms into attachment, when she feels emotionally safe with you, yet still challenged enough to stay intrigued. That combination of safety and excitement is what locks her in. You're not just another man she likes. You become the man who gets her in a way no one else does. The key to this level of connection isn't constant attention, it's quality of presence. When you're with her, be fully there. No phone distractions, no half hearted responses. Listen to her tone, not just her words. Mirror her emotions when she's open, but lead when she's lost. You create a rhythm, a psychological intimacy that tells her she can trust you with her vulnerability, yet still respect you for your independence. Most men go too far in one direction. They either act detached and cold or too soft and emotional. The balance is what makes you irresistible. You're emotionally available, but not emotionally dependent. You can love deeply, but never lose yourself in it. That's what makes a woman stay. Not fear, not need, but emotional gravity. You become the man who represents peace in her chaos, direction in her doubt, and fire in her routine. When you master that balance, you no longer have to keep her interested. Her emotions will do it for you. She'll want to be near you, not because she's afraid to lose you, but because she feels more herself when she's with you. That's when you've truly won. Not by seducing her body, but by awakening her soul. Because the greatest attraction doesn't come from words or looks, it comes from presence. When a woman feels that your presence sharpens her femininity and deepens her emotions, you stop being an option in her life. You become the man she measures every other man against. The final shift. Attracting a woman isn't about chasing, convincing, or performing. It's about mastering yourself. The greatest irony of attraction is this: the moment you stop needing her to feel validated, she begins to crave your validation. When you stop chasing love, love starts to chase you. Every woman, deep down, is drawn to a man who lives with purpose, direction, and peace within his own chaos. When your life radiates meaning, your energy becomes magnetic. You no longer have to prove anything. Your presence proves it for you. True attraction isn't about getting every woman to like you. It's about becoming the kind of man every woman notices without understanding why. The kind of man whose silence speaks louder than compliments, whose confidence isn't arrogance but calm assurance, whose life moves forward whether she's in it or not. When you embody that, you've already won. Because attraction isn't a skill, it's a reflection. The more grounded, disciplined, and purposeful you become, the more the world and the women in it will naturally be drawn to your orbit. So stop trying to make her want you. Focus on becoming the man who doesn't need to be wanted to feel powerful. Once you master your emotions, your purpose, and your energy, you'll find that attraction isn't a game you play anymore. It's a force you become. And when you reach that level, you won't just attract women. You'll attract respect, loyalty, and admiration without ever asking for it. That's the real secret. Not to chase desire, but to become the kind of man it can't resist.